Hello, Holistic Chamber of Commerce family. Welcome to today's member spotlight. I have with me Sue Rodrigues, and we're going to be talking about healing naturally, a lifestyle approach. Before we dive into this, just a little bit about Sue. She's a health coach helping people to lose weight and reclaim their health from the ravages of many lifestyle diseases. Today, we're excited to talk about the wisdom behind her best-selling book, Healing Naturally, and learn more about her unique coaching methodologies. We're going to explore some principles of holistic health and discover how incremental changes can lead to extraordinary transformation. Yes, tiny habits. Love it. I can't wait to dive in. So thanks, Sue, for hopping on with us today.
My pleasure. So good to be here. Thank you for having me.
So let's jump into the conversation by talking about some common challenges that people face when they are trying to improve their health naturally.
That's such a great question. I think it's twofold. I think one, we lack confidence in ourselves. We've tried so many things before. Like let's just take weight loss for example. How many, you could throw a stone and hit, a dozen people who have tried a million things, lost weight, gained it back. So they kind of like lose, we trust in themselves and faith that they have the ability to change. So that's one part of it. And I think that happens because we make the goal, again, let's just talk about weight loss. Weight loss is giant. It's a giant category. I used to be an elementary school teacher and I was so afraid to teach reading because reading is such a giant task, but you break it down to, what are the letters? What are the sounds of the letters? What's this word? What does this picture mean? All the little things. And it's the same exact thing with our health. And let's, again, weight loss. You could start with just adding more water. And that alone is going to help with weight loss and, of course, health. And you have the feeling like, I can do this. So it's breaking it down so small, like you mentioned in the intro, these tiny little micro habits that allow us to have success and therefore build confidence and trust in ourselves.
I would guess that you also face a lot of mindset issues when it comes to healing naturally because people typically think diet, short-term diet. Oh, it's hard. Oh, I've got to deprive myself. People associate, this healing process of it's going to be way too difficult to
Yep.
to do this and to maintain it.
Yep. One of the memes I dislike the most is the one that says being overweight is hard, dieting is hard, choose your hard. And I say no, it doesn't have to be hard at all. I want people, my clients and people in general, to lead with joy. What brings you joy? When I have a client who feels deprived, I feel as though they've walked away from their why power. They've walked away because now they're not looking at it as a joyful choice. They're looking at it what they're deprived about. Anyone out there listening, when you feel deprived, it should be ding, 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 ding. My mindset's not in the right place. When I'm at a party or whatever, a happy hour, and there's fried food and non-nutritive food anywhere, and I feel like, oh, I really want that. I've stepped away from my power. I've stepped away from the reason why I want to get healthy in the first place. So mindset is really everything. And we give ourselves clues. And the first one is thinking that it's hard. And the second one is feeling deprived.
Mm-hmm. And fortunately, today, I feel like there are so many products out there that you don't necessarily have to deprive yourself of what you think you can't eat anymore. It's just about making it yourself, using smarter ingredients, doing it differently, and setting yourself up for success. And from personal experience, I realized that when you start to see how this lifestyle is changing how you feel, that is huge motivation to continue doing it.
Yes. Yeah, imagine feeling less bloated. Imagine feeling like you have more energy. Even some people who could just walk up a flight of steps and not be out of breath. But to me, it's a creative process. It's fun. Can I find, a pasta that doesn't have refined flour? Can I find a coffee that's low acid? Or, it's to me, it's fun. Like my family kind of makes fun of me. I make these cookies it's just oats and bananas. And I could add in walnuts, I could add in spices, I could add in whatever I want, but it's oats and bananas. So I get to have cookies for breakfast. Like, what? So, I've rigged the system to get the things that bring me joy, eating cookies, but without any guilt, and I'm doing my body good. I think one mind shift, like you talked about mindset, is eating to fuel your body. I get it. We eat for every reason under the sun, celebration, all, sadness, depression, loneliness, all the things. I trust me, I get it. But if we change our mindset to what food is, which is fuel for the body, is this going to fuel my body? At least if we just ask the question and we pause, whatever you decide is fine. If I want to have, the whatever, insert unnutritive food, whatever it is, you make a decision, fine, enjoy it.
Mhm.
But as long as, like, the decision, you pause for that decision, like, is
Conscious
this fueling my
decision.
body?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then find some fun in. I think that's a good thing about hiring either like a health coach or a nutritionist or someone like that, so that maybe you don't know where to go. Listen, I have a lot of clients that before they met with me, they never read a nutrition label. So yeah, the goal is to have all food that isn't in a package, so you don't even have, because that's safe. Anything that doesn't have a nutrition label is pretty much safe. But if you're having packaged food, let's learn how to read the nutrition label so you can make a choice.
I love that. I love that. And you talk a little bit in some of the material that I was reading. I was reading up on you before this conversation, and you're talking about having fun with it. I mean, I think it's great to be part of that weird club. How can we bake things, make things? I mean, I make bread out of green plantains and almond flour, so I want to be part of your weird club. But it's fun. It's like, what can I put together or make that really supports my body, that's good for me, and that will satisfy, any cravings that I might have. So
Exactly.
I think that's fantastic. Yeah. All right. So tell me, you wrote a book, and in this book, you infuse some of your coaching strategies. Tell us about your book.
Yes. Okay. Shameless plug. I'm going to show it. Um, so yeah, this book is really the summation of my 15 years of coaching. It's exactly what we've just been talking about, just in categories, sleep, movement, nutrition, and how to start off with baby steps. Someone who maybe wants to meditate 20 minutes a day, start with 1 minute. Start with 1 minute. And what that allows, I have some clients who say, Sue, like 1 minute, what does that do? That's my impersonation. No, anyway. And I say, well, it creates a space for more, but it also creates, like we talked about at the beginning of our conversation, it creates trust that I can do this meditation, deep breathing, whatever it is, for 1 minute. And if you think about it, it's a little bit really more than 1 minute, because maybe you want to get in comfy clothes, maybe you get a mat. I'm speaking to the yoga expert, but like, you get your yoga mat out, maybe you have music on. So there's actually a little prep time, but the mindset is 1 minute. So the book is really everything that I've learned and everything I apply in my own life. Not perfectly, because none of us are. The book is like an empowerment book to help you, whoever picks it up, wherever you're at, to just go one step more toward a healthier life, healthier, joyful life.
Hmm. And so, would you recommend someone that's thinking about this to start with your book first? Is that like a good primer to what you will be doing? Or is this something that is like supportive when people are working one-on-one with you? Like it's part of the program.
I think that's a great question. The book is me. So really, it's a really inexpensive way to get me. Because if you, I mean, I talk about accountability and trackers and all the different ways you can be accountable. Obviously, a health coach is a great one, but I think you can kind of do it on your own with the book. Um, I kind of document my journey with digestive issues. Here I am, a health coach, and for 15 years, I couldn't figure out my own digestive issues. And so this was the path that put that in the rearview mirror. And I think one of the things that helped me were all these micro habits and just always seeking a little bit more. So I really spell it out. So thank you for that question. And I certainly welcome people to contact me and call me. But I think the book is me,
Mhm.
and they can get a lot. It may be like a good toe dipping, to see they'll see me in the book and then decide if they want to work with me, excuse me, further. But I think they can move their health forward just by the book alone.
Mm. That's great. There's some people who are self-motivated. Yeah, there's a lot of self-help books out there, and as well as I have some on my shelf. I'm like, oh, that's a great idea, and then I don't ever do anything with it, and it's like collecting dust. So there are going to be people that need your one-on-one
Right.
support. So what does it look like to work with you? Do you serve people in person? Are you mostly virtual? Is it like a program, like a certain month commitment? Is it one-off? So talk a little bit about how you work individually with folks.
Right. Thank you so much for asking. Nowadays, I am pretty much virtual. It's either phone or Zoom, which my clients feel is sufficient. I have, excuse me, a complimentary call first, and on that call, I basically ask a lot of questions and listen. I'm looking for your routine in the day. How much water do you drink? How's your sleep? What kind of food do you eat? When do you eat? And I get a picture of of what they would need to move forward. And again, between you and me and everyone else listening, I'm really happy if I can send you off with something and that helps you. The benefit of working with me is once I know that I can help you incrementally improve your health. I have this one couple that I'm working with now, and he both of them needed to lose a lot of weight, and he was not looking at labels, and his sodium was off the charts, like, 5 times the legal limit. And so he started looking at labels, and we started coming up with alternatives for things that are in packages. He's down 60 pounds now, and we have moved. And then they start, after they got the sodium down, we looked at adding fruits and vegetables. They got fruits and vegetables down. They were eating out less and we're eating more home. It's really, it's like a lifestyle coach more than a health coach, although obviously my focus is on health. But now we're talking about meditation, now we're talking about movement, but we do it, I work with clients at their pace, so every client is going to be different. um yeah, but it's so if yeah, if they're looking at their, I'm looking at their daily routine, and I'll tell you, that speaks volumes about who you are and what you are and what your body is like. If you're rushing, okay, maybe I'm going to talk about, adding self-care or meditation. If you're only drinking juice and sweet tea, we're going to talk about water first. And so it's very individual, and I think it's rinse and repeat. Start with a tiny habit, get your self-confidence, get feeling that it's easy. It does not have to be hard and mind blower. It can be joyful. You can feel good. One of my clients says to me, she gets asked all the time, how did you lose so much weight? You look great. What did you do? And she goes, I'm eating more. I
Mhm.
eat more now, because before she didn't eat all day, and then she'd have a big meal at night and then snack at night, and that is not good for the body and fat accumulation. So she's now eating more throughout the day, and she's down 40 pounds.
Nice.
So it's very individual. Um, Did that get it across?
Yeah, yeah, and
Okay.
and I appreciate that because a lot of people see like a diet as a one size fits all thing. Yes, we know to eat, whole foods and to eat better, but the reality is that our bodies are unique, and whatever ailments we're experiencing is unique. Insulin resistance is different than someone who can tolerate whole grains, but they have gallbladder issues, so processing fat is troublesome for them. And when you are creating an individualized approach, it helps set people up for success.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
also people's lifestyles are different. Someone may be like, the idea of food prepping on Sunday night, they can't do it. There's no time even on the weekend for them to do it. So it's got to be in these small little micro habits
Mhm.
that can be done.
Mhm.
So not only their bodies have unique things, but their lifestyles and their daily schedule and their jobs and all the obligations and responsibilities they have. And then somehow, once you get them with the 1 minute meditation or 1 minute journaling or whatever it is, they see the relaxation that comes, and they feel when they stop having less salt or less sugar or whatever the thing is. When you do, I think, one thing at a time, you could also see the benefits. I have one gal who doesn't drink water and has bowel problems. Like, it's really not a surprise, but somehow when we're living our own lives, we either don't think about that. We just think, what drastic thing can I do? What big thing can I do?
Mhm.
And even, I work with people with the weight loss drugs too. Like, that is it's all tools. And so if somebody is using a weight loss drug to lose weight, fine, but and still they're going to need some habit formation so that when they stop the medications, they have healthy habits to keep that weight off and actually gain health. I don't think any medication that I know of on the market actually creates health. It more reacts to disease. So go ahead and, I'm not against medications. Go ahead and use them. But what are we doing in conjunction with that to create a healthy life?
Right. In conjunction with the habits, and when we talked about this, I think it was at a networking event, and you said something, I'm like, oh, sold. She just sold me. I think it's also too working with people's values, because the reality is we will pay and do what we value. And if someone values going to Starbucks in the morning and going through that ritual and getting an extra caramelly caramel latte with foamy whipped cream, and you're like, well, maybe we should be cutting down the sugar. If you value that, that's great. But how can we value that maybe in a different way and make different ordering choices? So, a
Mhm.
lot of that comes into play. I mean, I would think as well, I'm just guessing as a health coach, there's a lot of that discussion too.
And that's a really great start. You could just go to Starbucks and have, when I started my health journey, I was like milk and sugar. And here's a tip for everybody out there who wants to cut down on sugar. I put cinnamon, ground cinnamon. That's it. And some, milk, almond milk or whatever. And the cinnamon, the aroma made me feel like I was drinking something sweet. I don't
Mhm.
know if that's just what that is about, but now, ever since the past 15 years, I put ground cinnamon. There's no sweetener, but I feel my sweet tooth is taken care of. So that would be a great starting place.
Mhm.
Not even to mention, I remember I had a gal once who, she went twice a day. She went down to one time a day. That's a major improvement, because I think there's like 40 grams of sugar in like the caramel macchiato. That's like, 10 teaspoons. It's like you're not getting your jolt from the caffeine. It's the sugar and then the drop, and then, don't get me
Right.
started with that whole thing. But I have some clients that are now, making the coffee at home. They got some like stevia drops and so there's lots of alternatives. And I like that you brought that up, because that's a good one little micro habit. And someone who's like on cholesterol medication or whatever, they may say, Sue, that's too small. I want something drastic, which we can do. But I know from my experience and my research that it's these little things. Let's master the coffee and then we'll move on to something else, you know?
Yeah, creating consistency. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sustainability is it to me, sustainability coupled with joy is everything.
The whole Starbucks conversation makes me crack up because half of this stuff I don't even know what it is. I hear people ordering. I'm like, what the hell is that? I don't even know what you're ordering, but yikes.
It's sugar and fat is
Yeah,
what it
sugar.
is.
Too much sugar, too much fat. All right. All right. So if someone wanted to reach out to you for more information, how would they do that?
I think the easiest would be to go to my website, mycoachsue.com, and there are many places you can sign up for a complimentary consultation. You can email me, sue@mycoachsue.com. I'm all over social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. But I think the easiest to remember is mycoachsue.com.
Okay. And you offer a free consultation.
Yes, yes. And I'm really okay if we have a conversation, I give you a tidbit and you go off. I'd love the feedback if it helped or not, but they don't need to hire me to move their health forward. A conversation, I'm good with giving that.
Wonderful. I just put your URL in the comments box so
Oh,
people
great,
grab that.
great,
Just a little note too to schedule a complimentary consult with you. Is there
great.
any last thing you want to leave your viewers with before we hop off today?
Look for the fun in getting healthy. And I know that sounds crazy, but it see if there's just the tiniest little thing you can do, whether it's one more glass of water, going to bed 2 minutes before normal, something really tiny, a 100 more steps in a day, and doing those things with joy. Joy.
Joy, and fun. Fun.
Joy and fun.
Joy and fun. Thanks, Sue, so much for being here today and sharing your wisdom. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Go schedule your complimentary consult with Sue. Have a great rest of your day.